Hey, happy asynchronous Wednesday. And we know there's no such thing as asynchronous Wednesday because you miss your teachers. We miss you too. Homework today. Okay, there's three things you got to know. You got to know how to do long division. Okay, I'm including a Math Antics video that reminds you all the steps to do long division. The other thing you have to know is all of these are dividing where you're going to have to go in and have a decimal. Some of them already have the decimal there. Some of them you're going to divide, okay, and add the decimal. So if there's a decimal, all you do is you bring it up, okay? And if you want, you can go past and add zeros. Since on these first five, it wants you to round to the nearest tenth. Remember, THS, the 10th spot is the first spot next to the decimal. Okay, so I'll have to have a number to the right of that. So I'm going to go ahead and underline. I underline what I'm going to round to, and then I look to the right of it and see if it's a 5 or bigger. If it is a 5 or bigger, the number I underline goes up by 1. Never goes up by more than 1. Okay, if it's not 5 or bigger, if the number to the right of what I underline is 4 or smaller, then I leave the number I underlined and chop off everything else because it's after the decimal. Okay, so this 9 into 656, I already know I'm going to have a decimal there, bring it up, and I'm going to have 2 zeros because I got to go 2 spots. I'm rounding to the 10th place. I need a number in the hundreds place so I can find out if the 10th place stays or goes up by 1. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and give Scooby some props. Scooby? Yeah. Scooby-Doo. He's doing this homework for you. This is his paper, right? Now, this is February 17th, 2021. Wow, February is going fast. And don't forget to put your teacher's name and the period, okay? Now, the next thing I want you to do, whenever you do a Pizzazz worksheet, if you're printing it out, circle the topic, okay? Because that helps you. Like, see here it says, dividing a decimal by a whole number, rounding the quotient. Quotient, what does that mean? Well, knowing that that's the title of this, and I'm rounding my answer, that tells you that the quotient is the answer to the division problem. Okay? All right. So when you divide, 8 goes into 29. We're going to say 3 times. And then the next thing, once I get a number up here, now I didn't put anything above the 2. When I start, if the number won't fit in the first one, I'm going straight to the second one. The important thing is you know that when you start putting an answer, it goes above the second one. Okay? If you forget that, then start putting a 0 above that too, right? Say 8 goes into that 0 times, right? 0 times 8 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. Bring down the next number. Now, 8 goes into 29 3 times. Now I multiply. 3 times 8 is 24. Now I subtract. Okay, 29 minus 24 is 5. Once I subtract, I bring down the next number. And I know 8 times 7 is 56. So I'm going to put a 7 up there. 7 times 8 is 56. Now what do? Subtract. Now after I subtract, what do? Bring down the next number. And I write these and I try to keep it as straight as I can. Now 8 goes into 24 how many times? 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Now I can keep on going, but they already told me I'm rounding to the 10th place. The 10th place is where that 7 is. I look to the right to see if the 7 is going to stay the same or go up by 1. Okay, that's the only choices. It can never go down, and it can never go up by 2. So the 70, my answer is either going to be 3.7 or 3.8. What's it going to be? Well, since that's only a 3, the 7 stays. Okay, so I do a little squiggly equal sign because that means it's about 3.7. So the answer to number 1 is 3.7. Now, it says, do this exercise, find your answer in the rocket, cross out the letter next to it. So 3.7 is here. I'm going to cross out that S. See how we did that? Okay, when I'm done, the letters that are left will spell the answer to what is used for astronaut sandwiches. Okay, let's do another one. Let's skip it and go over here. 4 will not fit into 1, so I'm going to put a 0 there. 0 times 4, I multiply, is 0. Once I multiply, I subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. Once I subtract, I bring down the next number. Okay, now I bring down the next number. Now I'm seeing how many 4s fit into 18. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 is too big. So 16, 4 times. I'm going to put a 4 above that 8. Now I multiply. 4 times 4. Now what do I do? Subtract. 18 minus 16 is 2. Now what do I do? Bring down the next number. 4 goes into 21. About 5 times, right? Because 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 4. What do I do? Subtract. Now, I have a number in the tenths place, but I need to see what is in the hundreds place before I can stop and round. So there's nothing here. I got to add a 0 and bring it down. There's nothing there. You add a 0. Now, 4 fits into 10 only 2 times, right? Now I'm done because I have that 2 there. I know the 5 is going to stay. I'm not going to make it a 6. Remember, the only choices are the number in the tenths place will either stay or go bigger by 1. So this is about 4.5. When I go look for 4.5, there it is. I'm going to cross out that I. Got it? All right. Let's do this 3.6 divided by 17. 17 goes outside, right? The first number goes inside. Now, the decimal comes straight up. And remember, I'm rounding to the tenths place. I'm going to go ahead and underline that number. I don't even know what it is yet, and put it over here. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to have one. Now, 17 doubled is 34. So I'm going to go 2. 2 times 17 is 34. Now I'm going to add a 0 and bring it down. And 17 only goes into 21 times. Since that's a 1, I know that 2 is going to stay. That's all I got. This is about 0.2. Okay, so I'll go look for 0.2. There it is. Making sense? Okay, so that is right there. You still got to do this one. You still got to do this one. Let's go down here. All right, I'm going to help you with this one. 24 into 5.6. Okay, 24 into 5.6. Now the decimal comes straight up, and 24 goes into 56 2 times, because that when I double that, that's 48. I subtract. 16 minus 8 is 8. Now I have a number in the tenths place, but this time I'm going to the thousandths place. So tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and I got to go 1 past it. So I might not have given myself enough room here, right? Add a 0, and 24 goes into 80. 24, 48, 72, 3 times. I get another 8, adding a 0, bringing it down. 24 goes into 80 3 times. 3 times 24 is 72. I'm going to keep getting 3s all the way out, huh? Now, I underlined that tenths place, but that was a mistake because in this set, we're going to the thousandths place. So the tenths, hundredths, thousandths, that's here, but these are going to keep being 3s, right? So I'm going to have another 3 there. So I'm going to say this is about, let's do it right here, about 0.233 is what we're saying there. Okay, go look for that answer. There it is. Okay. All right. Let's do the word problems for you since you're watching the video and you're still here. All right, almost 10 minutes in. A monthly magazine charges $38.50 for a 1-year subscription, 12 issues. What is the cost for each issue? So I'm going to divide $38.50 divided by 12. Now we're rounding to their cent. That's the hundredths place. Okay. So I'm going 3850 into 12, or 12 into that. Now, the decimal comes straight up. Now, I know that 3 feet is 36 inches. I'm going to put a 3 here. And so 3 times 12, what do I do now? Subtract. What do I do now? Bring down the next number. Okay, now 2 times 12 is 24. That's close. What about 2 there? I multiply 2 times 12. What do I do now? Subtract. What do I do now? Bring down the next number. Okay, now 12 goes into 10 how many times? 0 times. Right? 0 times 12 is 0. Subtract. What do I do now? Add a 0, bring it down. I got to go all the way over to the thousandths place if I'm going to the tenths place or the hundredths place, right? I know what's there, but I got to look over here and see what's next. Now, 12 into 100, that's going to be an 8. So what happens to that 0 if the number next to it is an 8 and I'm rounding to this 0 spot this time, right? That's going to go up by 1. So my answer here is about $3.21. Okay, 321. There it is. I'm going to cross out the F. All right, last one. Miss Shu had 51 ounces of nuclear fizz punch to share among 8 children. How many ounces did each child get? So 51 divided by 8, and I'm rounding to the nearest tenth of an ounce. Okay, so 51, 8 goes in 6 times, right? Because 6 times 8 is 48. What do I do now? Subtract. Now, there's no decimal, but I want to bring down the next number. I have to add a decimal. Add a 0. 8 goes into 30 3 times. That's 24. Subtract. Add a 0. 8 goes into 60 7 times. So if I'm rounding to the nearest 10th, that's the 3, where the 3 is. Since the 7's to the next, to the right of it, what happens to the 3? Goes up by 1. 6.4. Okay, go find 6.4. There it is. Cross out the S. All right. Hopefully you can finish this. If you need more help, please see your teacher during their office hours, okay? Have a good one, everybody.